Tell me more about the STEM identity. What does that mean? Because I have an idea in my mind as far as what that could look like, but I just want to make sure I'm clear. So can you dig into that a little bit more as far as what the STEM identity looks like?
Yes. So STEM identity has to do with your being able to feel that you can grasp and execute the skills that are critical in STEM, whether that's critical thinking, whether that's problem solving, whether that's collaboration. It also has to do with you being able to see yourself in a STEM profession, right? You no longer walk into a math classroom as a female student saying you can't be good at math, right? It also has to do with the examples that the students are exposed to, whether it's an astronaut, Joan Higginbotham, or whether it is, Victor Glover. I like astronauts. I'm going to do a lot of astronaut references, but making sure that the students have role models and people to look up to, as well as being encouraged to, have a setback, as we say. We don't say failure. We have a setback. You can have a setback in math and still be an engineer right here, right? So you can still do those things. So we want to kind of strip away some of those negative feelings and emotions that you can't succeed in STEM, or that you have to be an A student to succeed in STEM. No, you're going to take those skill sets. You're going to learn those. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have to apply the lessons, and you can be a STEM professional. There are no barriers to that, especially in terms of the skill sets that you can gain with the proper teaching. You can be a STEM professional. So that's kind of what we are looking for. And we have a formal definition, which I can pull out for your audience later, but those are some of the elements of STEM identity.
Okay, I got you. Thank you. And one of the things I pulled from your response was the critical thinking side of things, because I can imagine, I know we can give an assessment and here's your STEM identity, but at the end of the day, there's going to be some students that STEM is not going to be their field, or some of these STEM careers might require college degrees, and so that may not be their direction, but it does give you other skill knowledge, such as critical thinking. Are there some other skills that we're going to be able to find out from this STEM identity outside of the STEM career field of things?
Yes, absolutely. So some of the other skills that we want to impress upon our students are things like collaboration. If you think about some of the ways that students are educated today, they are sitting and getting, right? We want students to be collaborative. Because who works alone, right?
I know.
Nobody works alone, right? I don't work alone. I have a team. Yeah. So it's collaboration, it's teamwork. It's really infusing that curiosity as well, because we want that's the whole premise of the scientific theory is theorems, right? How do you do this? Let's try this. I'm reminded of a book that my son had, where the little girl in the book was experimenting with all kinds of things, including could you just have ketchup for every meal, right? So we want them to really lean into all the skills, including communication, creativity, and problem solving. So we really want to stress all of those skills as we are teaching. And we start with those educators to help them to infuse that into their classroom and give them the tools to help those students gain those skills and understand that you're learning to communicate. But it's important to tell your teammate when you're getting ready to light the Bunsen burner. Might be important. It might be important for you to collaborate on this particular mathematical formula, right? You want to be a team together to solve a particular problem. And if something's not working quite right with your experiment, go ahead and talk to your teammate. And maybe you can brainstorm and figure out how to solve that thing together. That's real world in almost every profession. I know you go to conferences, I go to conferences, and one of the things that we love about doing that is getting with other professionals. Understand, hey, I'm having this challenge in my building. Have you had this challenge, and how have you solved it? So I don't see that there's any place that we don't need those skills. Even if you don't pursue a STEM career, you're going to need that in life. So we want to make sure that we are helping our educators to do that, and subsequently helping our students as well.
Listen, I when you said that no one works by themselves these days, that really hit home. And here's why. I've been doing a lot of research. So I got another book that I'm working on right now, and it's all about our traditional school settings are set up where, you still have classrooms where the desks are in one row, and everyone's taught to work independently. We're training our kids to work on the individual basis of things, your GPAs and honor rolls, like all that stuff is individualized. Valedictorian, right? These things are competition. But then when they graduate from high school, they're going to enter into some workforce where they're going to be in teams. Even if they go in the military, whatever they do, they're going to be put into teams. So where's the disconnect between what's happening from the classroom level and into when they become adults? The teamwork is just not being enforced like it should be.
It's not. And then we wonder when we get into the working world why this person is not a good team member. Why don't they trust me here? It was never built. Perhaps if you played sports, but you need that in the working environment. As I said, I'm an astronaut person. I know several astronauts.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that they do is they take them out and they do teamwork. They're out in the wilderness, they're underwater. It's stressed so heavily that you have to rely on each other. In this situation, it's life or death. But we all need to do it's in every facet of our lives. So we really do believe that, we infuse that into our quality STEM professional development. And we want those teachers to at least have some elements of that. And it's so critical for work in STEM, but really work in general.